On this portion of our road trips in rural Belleville and Quinte West, we are going to visit two memorial plaques. One which honors the very first establishment of religion in this area, and the second one which goes a little step further and talks about the earliest development of churches and congregations in our area. The very earliest settlers who came to this area did, of course, have a basic, deep religious faith. And it was only natural that they would want to come together into their congregations and ultimately have ministers and churches. With the settlements being so widely spread and so small, it was natural at the outset to have the minister go to the people. And they would ride in a specific area to visit the settlements. They were called circuit riders. And they weren't freelance ministers by any means. They were within specific churches, and they were given specific territories and obligations to meet. So, riding on horseback through all kinds of weather, over immense territories, and alone all the time, they would visit the settlements where they would give sermons, hold meetings, marry the young couples, baptize the babies, and say prayers for the dead. As I mentioned, these circuits were specifically set by the church administrations covering a certain territory and a number of settlements. One example was the Reverend Anson Green. He was an Episcopal Methodist minister, and he covered a circuit just to the west of us here. He had in that circuit 12 townships, 33 settlements, and over 400 miles to cover on horseback. For the Reverend Green, each month he was expected to visit these 33 settlements, as I say, gather the people for sermons and teachings and baptisms and marriages and funerals, and of course meet with the local hierarchy to encourage the development of a congregation in that area. Now, this situation wasn't very much different for the Catholics in this area. The first priest to arrive here had to cover a territory all the way from Tweed in the north to Picton in the south, all of southern Hastings County, parts of Northumberland and parts of Lennox and Addington. So for all of these ministers, they had a very, very demanding job gathering their sheep together into the congregations. Now, returning to the specific plaque that we are visiting today, Reverend Asa Turner. Now, he was a Baptist minister. He came up from New York State, as many of the other circuit riders did. In 1798, Reverend Turner's area of responsibility was Sydney and Thurlow townships, and he was responsible, as I mentioned, for covering all of the little settlements in these areas, doing the baptisms, the marriages, the funerals, sermons, and all of these various functions. But his principal responsibility given to him by the church administration was to create congregations, to bring the people in the settlements together in a recognized congregation. In fact, the work of Reverend Asa Turner at that time brought about the development of all of the Baptist congregations in Eastern Ontario and formed them into what was the fledgling church. This plaque to Reverend Asa Turner is located here at the Sydney Baptist Church, which is located quite appropriately on a road called Baptist Church Road in Sydney Township between Belleville and Stirling. So we invite you to take your drive through this beautiful, beautiful agricultural area, stop here at the Sydney Baptist Church, read the plaque, and learn a bit more about the earliest days of religion in this area.